Today I'm going to be catching 5 random shiny Pokemon. The types will be decided by this wheel, and then we'll spin to see what Pokemon of that type we'll be catching. So let's do our first spin. Bug Pokemon, which I'm actually not too mad about. There's a few bug Pokemon I wouldn't mind having. I'm actually not too mad with this one because his shiny is like really easy to spot. Like, he's rolling little gold. So let's go get this bug. As much as I hate to admit it, this one took a really long time. And I guess if you considered those terms in other Pokemon games, you'd be like, yeah, that's not long at all. But I'm a very impatient person. I usually switch from Pokemon as I'm catching because I'm like, I'm a little bored of this terrain. I'm bored of looking for this Pokemon. But I gave myself a challenge. I had to find this little bug. I couldn't move on. If I wanted to do something else in the game, oh well. The first thing we need to address is sandwiches. I do use sandwiches, but I don't use shiny encounter sandwiches. I just use the regular encounter too because I don't like shiny sandwiches. I don't like hunting for the herbs, and then I don't like the idea of turning off my autosave because my anxiety goes boo. So I just do regular encounter too, and I'm like, let's hope that our luck is on our side. And for this one, not so much. There were a few times where I got completely bamboozled. These little yellow things right here, I can't pronounce their names. Or I can't even remember their names. Who cares? The gold in the desert. So many times I thought it was my shiny, but no. So I did as you should do and I murdered them. In cold blood. It's fine, it's fine. There's actually another time where I got bamboozled. The little hippopotamus thing. I can't remember its name either. Trust me, I know my Pokemon. I'm just dumb. I got so excited because I seen its gold and I was like, yes, finally. It's been like an hour and a half. Come to me, baby. And then it was a little hippo. And that happened like 3 times. My rage for that Pokemon now exists. It didn't before, but now it does. Ironically, after 2.5 hours, I finally got my shiny. But did I get it searching? No. For the first time in the hunt, I put down my controller and I opened my phone to text someone. And then after about like 2 minutes, I put my phone back down and I grabbed my controller and looked around and boom, there the shiny was. Are you serious? When I stop playing the game, that's when the shiny pops up? But I'll take the shiny. And don't forget to save, guys, because for the longest time, I didn't know you could do that. And it saved a lot of shinies for me. So don't forget to save. And with that catch, we have our first member of this team. Ironically, he already has a little gold buddy that I caught a few days before on his team. So let's keep him a little company for just a little while. With the first shiny under our belt, let's roll the wheel one more time to see what we'll be hunting for next. And fighting type is one of those types that I can't remember what belongs to it, so I have no huge feelings for this. But the wheel did not disappoint me, because what we got to hunt next was a Paradox Pokemon, and honestly, in my opinion, one of the better ones. And it's shiny? Ooh, beautiful, gorgeous. Even though we'll be hunting a fighting type Pokemon, I wanted to use a fairy type sandwich. It's far easier to isolate Iron Valiant using the fairy type. So we'll be using an Encounter 2 fairy type sandwich. And we'll be going into the caves because it's easier to spawn them there. And as you can see, they're everywhere. Not only do they spawn in abundance, I also got kind of lucky with this one. So it's safe to say it's one of my favorite hunts in this video. The cave is completely covered with them. All I had to do was zoom, 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 zoom. And there was more. The only fear I had was when I was going through the cave, some spawning behind me. And I'm one of those, I forget the term. I know Pokemon YouTubers have used the term. I look at shinies or Pokemon very closely to determine if it's a shiny. So yeah, shiny hunting takes me a little longer because of that fact. And it's funny because often the shinies are really noticeable, so you don't need to do that. But here I am, eyeing every single Pokemon, even trying to get the ones behind me. I eventually had a little method of looping around the cave. I would go through the narrow things because I felt like I had more spawns there. But overall, it was just to give myself a little more like leg room to do it after being in the desert for so long and just seeing nothing. It felt really, really refreshing to be in a cave. And on my first sandwich, we encountered our shiny. I did my little hop and I went to do my loop again and boom, he appeared as beautiful as he should be. And the funny thing is, you could see based on the video, my brain didn't comprehend that it was a shiny at first and I went, whoa, And then so we saved and then entered the battle. Yeah, so this battle freaking sucked. Something you'll notice is I don't like using false swipe because I have the fear of them having like moves that would kill them or running out of moves and dying. So yeah, I don't like false swipe or damaging them at all, which I know is really, really dumb, but most of the time I'm catching low level shinies, so it doesn't matter. This is the first shiny I've caught that's taken this long to freaking catch. I think I went through around 40 balls. And I was hoping, run out of moves and hit yourself just a little, please. It's been a while. And like, I'd had to heal my Glaceon. I think I healed my Glaceon like 4 times. Because it was doing damage. But bless Glaceon, they stuck their heart in. And does anyone else feel bad when their Pokemon's like crying in pain? And I know it's a game, but I'm like, oh, sorry Glaceon, we gotta catch this shiny. Sorry. But after a long-winded battle that literally took the same amount of time, it took 20 minutes to catch this guy. It took 20 minutes to find him. But unfortunately, as you'll learn going on, my luck comes in bursts. Sometimes I'm super lucky. I literally have a video of me catching a Mareep right when I entered an outbreak. Other times, I'm not so lucky. Fast catch. Correction, fast fine, hard catch, under our belt, let's move on to the will again. I can't lie, when I seen it stop on water type, I was scared. Now water Pokemon rock. I love water Pokemon, okay? Don't get me wrong. But hunting them freaking sucks in this game. Not just this game, okay? I hate hunting them in Arceus too. I hate being in the water. It hurts my eyes. I get scared of the little Pokemon coming at me. When it landed on this Pokemon, to be honest, I kind of forgot they were in the game. And then I looked up their shiny, and I was like, oh, that's really freaking pretty. Well, after doing a little research, I found out the best spot for this is this little island right here. So off we went to the shore. The most troubling part of this shiny hunt wasn't the actual Pokemon. For some reason, the sandwiches weren't working for me. As I mentioned, I only do encounter 2, and I was trying to get an encounter 2 psychic, and I was following this wiki, which usually works for me. Like, I trust this wiki, but it just kept popping up as encounter 1, and I was like, dude, I must be doing this sandwich wrong, right? So I did it 3 times, and each time was encounter 1. And then I did a fairy sandwich for some reason, because I'm a little slow. I don't know what I was doing. But finally, I found this Reddit post that had all encounter 2 sandwiches, and it has been a lifesaver. I'm gonna put that Reddit post in my description because it's helped me, so maybe it'll help you. Finally, with our encounter 2 psychic sandwich, let's start the hunt. So yeah, you just basically go on this island, go in the water, go back and forth. Sometimes you can do a picnic. So here we have the discussion of picnic resets or just moving away from the spawn. Honestly, I don't know which one's better. I think it's personal preference, but I kind of like moving away from the spawn. For me, I just hate the load times and stuff, so picnic, usually I don't go for it. I just move a little far away. But there are occasions where I'm like, are these same Pokemon spawning? Am I going insane? So I do picnic resets. Every now and then I do that. And as I said before, my luck comes in burst. And yes, this one was still pretty good. It took me around the same time as the Iron Valiant to get this one. Trust me, I was looking at every fish. I was like, is that a shiny? That kind of looks like a shiny. Is that a shiny? I don't know. It's hard to see underwater. I was terrified of one being underwater and not being able to get it. That was my worst fear, and it's one of my worst fears, in the water. Or it's just a little far away, and when you go to move to it, another Pokemon hits you because it's so easy to hit Pokemon on the water. This one was actually pretty easy to spot in the water. Like, I knew instantly, oh, that's the shiny. And remember guys, save. This is why you always save. The fear in my heart when this happened to me. So at first, I was all giddy. I was like, haha, the shiny's running over to me. It wants me. It loves me. And then after I saved and exiled the menu, the shiny was gone. I couldn't find it. I was freaking out. So I scrambled and exited out of my game. And there the shiny was again. Not at first. I had to look around a little and I was freaking out. But we got it. Don't worry, we caught it. It's there. We saved our little shiny. We got a little bundle of fish. Maybe that's not the right term to use for it, but oh well. And it's actually really pretty. I'm actually really satisfied with this shiny. So if you want to get yourself one, I recommend it. It's really cute. I was feeling confident. The last 2 hunts only took 20 minutes. I was feeling myself. But the last 2 were gonna prove me wrong. Yeah, so at this time, I went to bed. Well, correction. I did half of the other hunt, and then I went to bed. So I spun my wheel and it landed on rock type. I was like, okay, I know quite a few rock types, so I wonder what it's gonna be. Then it landed on another paradox Pokemon, and I was like, dang, they really want me to hunt these Pokemon, don't they? But I admit, Tyranitar's paradox form, I kind of liked it, so I wasn't too mad, and it was also really silver, which is easy to spot, especially compared to a green one. So I went into this feeling really confident, overconfident. I thought I was going to get it immediately. So I spent an hour doing it that night. I already had 3 shiny hunts under my belt that day, and I figured I could finish the 4th one off. Yeah, no, I got tired and I went to bed. And then the next day I had to do, adult stuff. I had to clean the house and stuff. But after I finished my adult activities, I logged back onto my game. I know it's gonna happen. I'm gonna log onto this game and I'm gonna get my shiny immediately because that's the way it should go. Yeah, it also didn't go like that. I spent another 2 hours hunting for this Pokemon. At least with all the time, I got into a bit of a groove. Most people recommend you go above the rocks because there'll be more spawns, but I was having more luck spawning them below. So yeah, my hopes kind of switched to down below. I was like, please, I'm getting a good amount of spawns. I mean, not as good as Iron Valiant and stuff, but please, this isn't that bad. Give me my shiny. I was starting to wonder, is this shiny worth it? Oh my god, this is taking forever. Am I ever gonna get it? Am I gonna go over odds? Am I gonna be a loser? Around 6 electric type 2 encounter sandwiches later, I got my shiny. And can I say the music fits this moment perfectly? Just have a small clip of me encountering the shiny. See, perfect with the music, right? I think so. And this one didn't take long to catch at all. And I was very, very, very happy with that. I was like, at least there's that. And now I only had one more hunt to do. One more hunt and I could post my first Pokemon video. I was excited. I was elated. But little did I know, this hunt was going to be one of the longest of them all. When I spun the wheel, we got Poison type. I was a little excited. I hadn't really caught many Poison type Pokemon. But then it landed on my worst enemy, Wooper. Yeah, I'd seen a lot of YouTubers hunting for this one, and I just really wasn't a fan of the shiny. I didn't want to hunt this one at all. It was the first time the will disappointed me. But the will is God, and has more power than me, so I had to listen. So off I went to the swamps to hunt for this Wooper, and I was thinking maybe I could use the family of Woopers to spawn more. Yeah, it wasn't really working the way I wanted it to work. It felt slow, and I wasn't really getting that many Wooper spawns. So I went to the ponds, and it was better, but I didn't really care for it. And then I was thinking, I've seen Wooper outbreaks before. Maybe I could get an outbreak. I was ready to do the time skip game. I was ready to spend as many days as I needed to get that Wooper outbreak. And it was as if Arceus himself was looking down at me, because the next time skip, literally the first one, I got the Wooper outbreak. And I was like, oh my god, this is a sign. Yeah, Arceus then pulled that luck from me and was like, yeah, you gotta work for your shiny. Thank you for the outbreak, Arceus. But why did this take so goddamn long? Just took around like 4 hours, and it was midnight when I finished it off, and I thought it was like 2 a.m. That's how tired I was. In a freaking outbreak, this took me 4 hours. An outbreak, crying out loud. And I was so scared that I was gonna miss this Wooper, because I remembered it was bluer, but I didn't know how bluer. I didn't know if it was in the water it was gonna blend in. So I looked up YouTube videos to see how much it like blends in, And then I found this YouTuber who had a shiny Wooper, but they missed it on their stream and they were like, oh no. And I was like, freak, that's gonna be me. I wonder if I already missed one. And I started getting more and more like worried. I was like, did I already miss one? I don't have the heart to go through my footage and look. So I trekked on and I was tired and I was like, I really want to get this shiny so I can go to bed. I even started resorting to my worst enemy, picnic resets. I hate picnic resets. But I started worrying. I kept seeing the same Falafi everywhere. Were the resets not working? Were the same Pokemon spawning? So I pulled out my picnic and I hoped this would work. After I would do a picnic reset, I would just stand in the spot a little and wait for the Whoppers. Whoppers. What is this, Burger King? I would wait for them to spawn. And then right in front of me, the shiny spawned. Like literally right in front of me. And he was pretty noticeable. I don't know how noticeable he would be if he spawned in the water. I hate water spawns. But this was it. This was my moment. This was my final hunt. This was my final shiny Pokemon. And there he was. So I saved my game, and I launched into battle, and I caught him. But this video wasn't exactly over yet. I had one more thing I needed to do. So I went back to my Wheel of Fate. I decided halfway through this video that I was going to give away one random Pokemon. I knew I always wanted to give away a Pokemon at the end of this video. I kind of wanted to do it at the end of all my videos. I had an extra shiny Gibble, but I thought it was more cinematic if I spun the wheel to determine what Pokemon I should give away. And unfortunately, I lost this one. It chose my Iron Valiant, the shiny I was most attached to. But as I said before, the will chooses and the will is God. So if you want this shiny Iron Valiant, this beautiful creature, put somewhere in your comment, the will is God. Then after a day, I'll pick a random comment to see who gets the Iron Valiant. This was my first ever Pokemon video, especially where I'm doing gameplay instead of like analysis and stuff, and it was pretty fun to make. So I hope you like it, and I want to do more content like this in the future, so tell me if there's anything you're looking forward to. Oh, and since I'm crying about my Iron Valiant, don't forget to subscribe to make me feel better. Thank you! Have a great day!